Hello, I'm Kevin Anzenberger, and this is the Sports Interview. The Emory and Henry College football team is on a quest for a ring this season. As with any journey, there are bumps along the road to success. This past weekend was one of those bumps. After going up 21-0, the Wasps allowed 28 unanswered points. After tying the game at 28 in the fourth quarter, a game-winning field goal split the uprights as it left the Hampton-Sydney kicker's foot with just 9 seconds left to play. The Wasps' journey is far from over, however. They will win the ODAC championship this year, and I firmly believe that. But here to tell us what is ahead for the Wasps is tight end Ashton Klein, a guy who's had tremendous success this season. Ashton, thanks for being here, man.
I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, so first I want to talk about, I guess, a sensitive subject.
Okay.
That game was a heartbreaker. What's the atmosphere like in the locker room after a game like that?
I mean, it's what you would expect. I mean, a lot of people with their heads down. I mean, I was one of them, especially after the game. I just sit on the floor and, just thought to myself, how'd we let this one get by us? I mean, there's not much to say after a loss like that. You talk about it, what you did wrong individually as a team, and you move forward from there. I mean, the scoreboard says it, so there's nothing left for the coaches really to say to us. We tell ourselves, we messed up, we let that one get away from us, so we got to move on.
Yeah, and then another sensitive subject, I guess you could say, our two losses this year, one against Maryville in the first night game since 1980. There's an estimated 10,000 people on campus that day, and then the other one, homecoming weekend. Those are two huge stages that we lost on. What does the team have to say about something like that?
Well, with the night game, like you said, it's the first night game we've had in I don't know how long, in the 80s. So, it was a different atmosphere for all the players. Not just the freshmen. Us as seniors, we haven't had a night game. So, we're used to playing in the day. It's not an excuse for the reason we lost, but it was different for us. We've played in big atmospheres like this before. Last year against Hampton-Sydney, it was their homecoming. And I don't know how many people were there, but there was a lot more than we were used to. But we're used to the atmosphere. It was just, we didn't play as a team that day or the Sydney game. We started off as a team, and then we just slowly let the game get away from us. As the Maryville game, we didn't come out and play like the team that we're used to playing.
Yeah, well, going on a more optimistic note now, that Maryville game in a quest to our ODAC ring means nothing. And the Hampton-Sydney loss only puts us at a tie for second place.
Mm-hmm.
So there's great things ahead. Washington and Lee is undefeated, so they're the lone guys at the top. How many hours or how much preparation, how much thought do we put into where everybody else is in the ODAC standings?
Well, we try not to focus on everybody as a whole. We'll look at it and say, okay, here's who's in first, second, but we focus more on who we have Saturday coming up. It was like last week, we're focused on Hampton-Sydney. We weren't worried about, Washington and Lee. We weren't worried about Catholic this week. As this week, it's Catholic. Next week, it's another game.
Yeah, and this week we do play Catholic. So,
Mm-hmm.
What is our prepreparation like? What is the scouting report on Catholic?
They're a good 1-3 team in the conference right now. They've had games in their hands just like we have and let them slip away. But there's not much you can really say. I don't want to say anything that we have specifically, but we're preparing for them as if they're better than us. I'm not saying that they are, because I don't believe they are. But, we have to prepare for the best and for the worst. So we got to expect their best, and we got to play to our best, and we have to beat them with no matter who they have on the field or what they play, how they play us.
Yeah, and on an individual note, you've had to battle a lot of injuries this year. A lot of nagging injuries, but you're having a great year, 2 touchdown catches on the year. Just talk about that burden of those injuries and overcoming those.
Yeah, injuries happen. It's part of the game. But, as bad as I hate to get them, I have to deal with it. Like right now I'm dealing with an injury that I've had for 3 weeks now. But I just have to, try to play through it each day and continue to practice on and realize that I'm going to have to play with some pain as other players on the team. We have a lot of players that have just, little injuries they got to play through. And, we just have to be tough mentally and physically and just keep moving forward.
Yeah, and we're in a new 2 tight end system now, you and alongside of Trey Crook.
Mm-hmm.
Describe that process and how it's been playing beside Trey.
Okay, well, I really like Trey. He's a good friend of mine. Coach Stutz, he talked to me in his office one day. He was like, we're going to use 2 tight ends this year. You and Trey have different abilities that you're better at. And he said, Trey, he's a better blocker than you tend to be, and you're better at running routes and catching the ball than he tends to be. But that doesn't mean that's what we're going to do every game. There could be a game, Trey goes in and he's going to be open. If he runs, when he runs routes, he's going to be open. And there's going to be games I'm going to have to go in and block more than he does. So it can change week to week. I mean, most of the time we just, we tend to stay to what our best ability is, which is me to try to run more and be more the, I don't know how you say it, but I move more outside the lines where Trey will be more tackle to tackle blocking than I will.
Yeah, and I saw Trey catch a great pass. Unfortunately, it was called back for the offensive pass interference this past weekend. But my last question for you: it's your senior year. You're seeing all this success. You guys are going to win an ODAC championship this year. Everyone on campus believes it.
Mm-hmm.
What does this mean to you, man? This is your last year of football.
It means a lot. I'm glad to be a part of the organization here. Came here as a freshman. I didn't think I'd like it here, and I've stayed here all 4 years. And I really like it, and I want to go out with a bang. We all want that ring. We said it from the first meeting back in the spring, preparing for this season. We want to work for that ring, and we're not afraid to work hard to get there. And so, that's where we're moving to, and we're going to keep taking it week by week and day by day.
Absolutely. Well, I really appreciate you being on the set with me today, man. Good luck winning that ODAC championship. I know it's going to happen. And that'll do it for your sports interview. I'm Kevin Anzenberger alongside of Ashton Klein. I'll now send it over to McFarland Murph with the sports update.